Hey, thank you for tuning in to another ProPresenter tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to teach you how to import a song into ProPresenter from CCLI. With that said, we'll just go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the song that was sent to us from the worship leader. In this case, it's Lisa Berg doing worship this weekend. So I'm going to open up the song. First thing I'm going to look for is see if there's a CCLI number. In this case, there is. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that number. Hopefully I can copy that number. I can't copy anything. Okay, copy that number. Once that number is copied, we're going to go into ProPresenter. We're going to hit our search icon. With our search icon, we're going to go ahead and click on our library. I'm going to go ahead and paste the number in there. You're going to see that it has not changed because I did this once before, but I messed up the recording. So, hey, you're on a re-recorded. As you can see, nothing showed up in our library. This is our library icon, it's a little speaker icon. Next is the CCLI, so we will click on that. Give it a minute, it will populate. You can see it came up with 4 different songs. The first song, if we click on it, we will see that it's the exact CCI number that Lisa gave us, along with the title. If you click on the other songs, you'll see that they actually have the first 5 digits, but then they have more digits afterwards that are different. It only matters if you have 2 of the same titles with the same CCLI number, which shouldn't happen, but if it does, that's a whole different tutorial. Okay, so now that we have the song, we're going to click Import, and it's going to bring us up our Import dialog box. There's 2 ways for our slides to be delimited. One is paragraph, the other one is line break. For the service message, we do paragraph. For songs, we do line break, and we do it at 2 lines. This way we have, as you can see in the background, 2 lines in the center of our slides. And so when we put on this background, these two lines will come in the center of the slide and will be positioned that way. And it gives us a very nice consistency. Our next part is the presentation. Well, how big are we doing this? What is our output? It is going to be 1920 by 1080. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term, 1080 is most popular on TVs nowadays, even though we're moving to 4K. The theme is going to be important. The theme that we used, and you can use any one, is going to be the golden ticket. We could use other themes in here. We can get this, and we can go, oh, let's have some pink center lyrics. Not going to do that. We just want plain center lyrics. So in this case, we're going to go with golden ticket. And we're going to scroll down to centered lyrics, and we're going to click on that, and that's going to give us our centered lyrics. The third part is the destination. In this case, we are going to, usually it sits at announcements. If it does, just go ahead and click on songs, and the playlist will be none by default. We're going to go ahead and click on Sunday playlist. With that all done, the next thing we need to do is edit this. This will open up what we call the reflow editor, or what is called the reflow editor in ProPresenter. I'm going to expand this because I like it full screen. And I can see here, this is actually just the way I like it. We have 2 lines per slide, and we don't really need to make any changes to this one. This is good. I might do another song on this video just to show you, to see if we can find something that we can edit. So with this, all I need to do here is come down to the very last line in the last slide, and I'm going to insert a slide break, and I'm going to actually insert 2 of them. The top one, I'm going to click on the little drop-down arrow, I'm going to say group, and I'm going to say intro. Now you notice that it grouped both of them. So I'm going to come down at both of them as intro. So I'm going to come down to the bottom one, I'm going to click on the down arrow, and I'm going to click group, and I'm going to click blank. So this gives us our intro slide and our blank slide. These will come important, as our intro slide will hold our macros and our background image. Our blank slide at the end of the song will clear off the song. That way, clear off the lyrics, I should say. That way, if they go into reading scripture or go into prayer, we can click on that, get the lyrics off the screen, and people can focus on the prayer or the scripture. So with this done, nothing else to do, we'll go ahead and just click import. And it will take it a second to import. Once it's imported, you'll see that it will come to the bottom of our Sunday playlist. I'm going to go ahead and move it up into worship. and then I'll double click on it, even though that didn't work this time. I'll just go ahead and scroll up in this case. So we have the song here, O Come, O Emmanuel. Now, what we need to do next is make the arrangement. So there's a little icon here with an arrow going to the right on the top, an arrow going to the left on the bottom, and 3 little squares. This is our arrangement icon. It's actually a button, so we'll click on it. And you will see that what they're going to do is we're going to have a master arrangement. In this case, it'll be verse 1, chorus, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, and then the intro and the blank. Since the intro is going to be the start of our song, where we're going to lay out the background and the macros and everything else, we want that at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and move that over in this master arrangement. So it's at the beginning and just drop it there. Now it's up here. So when I go and put the background in here and everything, the macro in here, we click on it, it starts from the beginning there. So this is our master arrangement, the way the song is done in CCLI by the original artist. So now Lisa's going to be doing it. So what I want to do is I want to make a new arrangement that's just for Lisa. So I'm going to click on this drop down arrow and go to new arrangement. And I'm going to type in Lisa's name. Capital B. And then I'm going to click OK. And you can see that it copied the master arrangement into Lisa's arrangement to give us a start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the song that Lisa sent us. I'll have to open it up again. And I'm going to look at how she's singing this. She's got verse 1, chorus, verse 2, and that's all she sent on this song. Okay. We can see at the end of verse 2, she's got to chorus 3 times. So according to her, she's going to do this, I'm assuming at this point, since it's only one page, she's doing verse 1, verse 2. This is something that we will have to talk to Lisa about, or a worship leader about, if you encounter this multiple times. I'll close this. I'll go ahead and make this arrangement. Verse 1, we're going to do the chorus, verse 2, and then she's going to do the chorus 3 times. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chorus in here 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and take out verse 3 and verse 4. Now, again, when it seems odd like this, when there's like 3 verses or 2 verses, 3 verses being taken out, make sure you talk to the worship leader to make sure that the arrangement is right. There could have been a mistake in the email with the CCLI number or anything. So, make sure we can talk to them in the morning. With that done, that's her song. I'll go ahead and turn off the arrangement. We don't need to change it anymore. We'll also expand this out. I do want to show you that when you make the arrangement and you can right click on the song and say arrangement, and we can just go to master, and you can see that it changes what we have here. Now it adds the verse 3 and 4 back in, or we can right click and go to arrangement and say, hey, this is going to be Lisa, and we can see now it just has the verse 1, the chorus, verse 2, and the chorus 3 times. So I just wanted to point that out. That's why arrangements are important, especially in our church where we have 5 different worship teams that will worship at any time, and they all sing the song a little bit different order in the lyrics, different order in the verses. So it's good to have that we have that option to have those arrangements. Now that we have that, what I want to do is I want to go down and get a background. O come, Emmanuel. Ransom the Father, rejoice, O Emmanuel. This is more of a song where I probably want to throw a cross in here at some kind of cross, just so that we have a deeper meaning to the song, remembering what God did on the cross. Or maybe I'll do a praise. I also have thorns in here that we can do. I think, though, I'm not sure. I do like this one. We're going to go ahead and go with this cross. With that in there again, we have a worship macro. And I'm going to drag that and just drop it on there. What this macro does is that it changes our outputs. It changes the way we view things. So, for example, if we have announcements rolling, which typically we do, we start our announcements. You can hear the music kicking off, and I'm going to turn that down. So you can see the levels here moving up. If we start, we have our scrolling messages. You can see this is on our live stream, what we're seeing. And this is what we do in-house also and in the gathering room. So now I'm going to go back to in-house. So here's what a macro would do. If it was up to us and we had to do this manually, we would have to turn off all these layers, turn on some other stuff. We'd have to come up here to the audience looks, manually select the one that we want, and then parse out the sound. What that macro does is it does it all for us. It takes away the stuff that's supposed to be taken away and turns on the stuff that's supposed to be turned on. So when we double click on it, we can see now that in-house, our TVs in the sanctuary will come have this background. We'll be able to click on the lyrics just to see how they are lining up. They're aligning above this. Nothing's going across it. It looks great. If we want, we can check live stream. Live stream has the video. It also has the lyrics in the bottom third. We can also check the gathering room. Gathering room, same thing. I may want to change that so the gathering room TV is a little bit bigger. So that's probably why you notice the font size difference. I'll have to double check that. Anyway, so that's the power of macros, the power of ProPresenter, which is really, really great. Whereas our old system, we would have to manually do all this stuff, and we'd forget every now and then, hey, we forgot to turn the sound on the live stream and stuff like that. ProPresenter has really taken out a lot of those challenges that we faced with our other system. So with that said, there's really not much more left to this. This was actually a simple song. So why don't we go ahead, turn my face off here and go back to in-house. Let's go ahead and look at another song from Lisa. The third song she'll be doing, King of Kings. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. There is a CCLI number. I'm going to go ahead and copy that number. Go back to ProPresenter and go back to search. And I'm going to always start in our library. Control V. You don't need to hit enter. We can see that we have this song here. You notice that it is on Austin's arrangement right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I'm going to say add a playlist. It will automatically add it to the Sunday playlist. And it actually put it in the worship, which is nice. I'm going to right click and say arrangement. And I notice that I do not have an arrangement for Lisa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, double click on the song. As you see, already got a background and the macros in this, so we're good to go. I'm going to click on arrangement. Again, we have Austin's arrangement. We have a master arrangement. You can see the master arrangement. For some reason, the outro is at the beginning. I'm going to move the outro to the end, right before the blink. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on a new arrangement. And this is what I'm talking about. When we have different worship leaders, we can have different arrangements. And then when we get our Sunday list from the people doing worship, when we have the songs and we have an arrangement done for them, it should be really simple to set up. Just select the arrangement. Tiles slide should go exactly in the order that it needs to be. So we will go back, look at Lisa's, the way she's singing this. She's going to do verse 1 chorus, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, and the tag, which may be the outro here. So we will look at the outro. Praise forever to the King of Kings. If we look back at her document, praise forever to the King of Kings. So we know that she's basically doing this the same as the master. However, we will give her a separate arrangement, make sure we use her arrangements. She may come in tomorrow and say, I don't want to do verse 3. I may want to do the chorus twice or the chorus after every verse. With that said, we'll go ahead and turn off the arrangement, and we can see that the King of Kings is in Lisa's. So again, I didn't get to show you a whole lot. So let's try another song. Okay, go ahead and close this one. And the last song, Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. And this is from Song Select, which is also CCLI. It will have a CCLI number. We can see that number here. And as you grow with the tech team and the worship teams at Crossing Community Church, you will notice working with some of the artists that even though they may send it this way, their arrangement's probably going to be a little bit something else. Lisa will have a different sheet that's marked up with what she's going to do. So it's always good to communicate in the morning, let them warm up, and then afterwards communicate. Just make sure verse order is good. So we'll go back to ProPresenter, hit our search. Again, we'll look in our library first. We'll go ahead and paste that number. Nothing comes up. We'll go to CCLI. And there's the song. There's only one, so we're good. We're going to hit import it. All of our settings should still be the same from our last import. In that case, you got to remember we have to edit first, not import. Now, technically, you don't have to edit first. You could import. It's just easier to do this all before importing because for me, I get the larger screen. I get to see it. And in this case, when we look through the slides, again, all the words, we have our 2 lines. There's not a single word on one line or another. We're not tapping into 3 lines. So this is good. And I can't believe I'm not showing you anything that needs to be changed. So I may make another video on something that needs to be changed. So with this, again, we're going to come down to the last one. We're going to insert our 2 slide breaks. We're going to call the top one. We're going to group that to intro. And the bottom one, we're going to head and group to blink. With that done, we'll just go ahead and import. That will put it into our bottom of our list. We will move that up, as that's the last song. We'll scroll up to it, to the beginning of it, and we will click on arrangement. Again, we got our master, so there's an intro here. So there's 2 different intros. We're going to move one over to the intro. And we just got to remember that the first intro is always going to be for our background and our macro. And then the second intro is how they do the song. Now, it's possible that we don't even need the lyrics for that particular intro and have Lisa just start off like that. And then we can start in with verse 1 if it would simplify things. In this case, I'm just going to leave it. I will go back to her document. Again, she's doing here intro, verse 1. She's going to do an instrumental. So that instrumental is going to be interesting because I don't see how long that she's going to do it for. I'm going to assume that she's going to do it for at least 2 bars, which is 16 beats. So that's going to take probably, say a good 10 seconds, depending on the pace of the song. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, first we're going to make a new arrangement for Lisa. We'll go ahead and put her name in here. Click OK. Now it will copy the master arrangement. Now before I put anything into this first slide, what I want to do is I'm going to grab that again. After the interlude, I believe it said that she's going to have another intro. So I'm going to go and look at that real quick. So she's going to do intro, verse 1. After verse 1 comes an instrumental. So we're going to go ahead and after verse 1, we're going to move this slide over to here. We can do it down here. We can do it up here. It doesn't really matter. Actually, somehow it does matter. Somehow I got the wrong slide. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, so we're going to do this a different way. We're going to just grab it from up here and move it over to the interlude. Now our interlude is 000, so I'm going to come back to her song because I don't see her coming back in with an interlude. So we were going to take that interlude out. So it's going to be the verse, the intro, the verse 1. She's going to do an instrumental, and then she's going to go to the bridge. Whoops. As we can see by her document here, oh, sorry, she will go to verse 2, and then after verse 2, bridge, and then verse 3. So it's just like how she has it there. So what I want to do is I want to test something. In this case, if I put a background if I take the background and move it here, see, it does put it there. So I wanted to make sure that before we did that, that wasn't going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that background for right now. It's not the one I wanted. It is the one I just wanted to test with. So we'll remove the background. I'm also going to remove this intro. So what I need to do is create a blank. What I'll do is actually come up here and grab this blank instead of the intro and put it between verse 1 and 2. Now when I put a background up, why is the intros? Oh, I deleted the intros. Accidentally deleted the intros, which is good, because if you do have an accident like this, there is no issues whatsoever. We'll just switch this over to master. We will go back into the reflow editor, and we will come down and we will create another intro slide. So right after the king, I'm just going to ahead and insert a break. And I'm going to go ahead and call that or group that as intro. And you see this as an intro. Now we could technically say this could be intro 1. As you can see, they are not intro 1s. They don't have intro 1s. We can do it. We can name it something else that we're not using. Intro is going to be fine though. Once we have it there, we're just going to go back to show. We're in our master. Again, I'm going to move that intro over here to the beginning on the master. Oops, I grabbed the interlude somehow. Okay, why is it not grabbing? There we go. And I'm going to drop it in. Now I'm going to go back to Lisa. And we can see that she does not have that intro because I deleted it. So I'm just going to grab it from the top, pull it down here. Now we have it. So how this will go, she'll do this. She'll do verse 1. We'll blank it out till she's done with the instrumental. We'll pick it up on verse 2, and then she'll go to the bridge. And then after the bridge, she'll do verse 3, and then we're at the end of the set. So this was a fairly decent one because we had to do some special stuff with the arrangements, so that is a good practice and learning for this. We'll go ahead and turn off the arrangement. We'll go ahead and pick out a background for this one. I like to read the song, sing the song in my head. Just try and get an idea of the background that I want to use. I think this one, and we have favorite backgrounds. This is one of my favorite backgrounds here. This is just a remembrance of Jesus being a king who was sacrificed for us. And that's why I really like this, just the crown of thorns that's been. And so and then we'll put the worship macro on. So once we double click on this, we can see that, we got that. The words are going to sit right above the cross. These backgrounds from Motion Worship, they are set in such a way where if there's something on the bottom, they come up to just the right point where your lyrics will not be tremendously over them and just be a couple little areas that are really small, but your lyrics are centered and they're prominent. So like I said, she'll come here, then we'll blank. So while she's doing the instrumental, we'll be blank. If you know how to count the music and the bars and everything else, you can talk to her. Hey, how long is this going? Are you doing 1 bar, 2 bars, 4 bars? And that will give you an idea on what you could count to try and meet her at the exit of the instrumental. All right. So that is how you import songs from CCLI. And this is how smooth it should be every time. You shouldn't have to do a whole lot except for the arrangements. In this case, our arrangement, it may hold true, it may not hold true. We won't know until we talk to the worship team tomorrow. But even then, we just go ahead, hit our little arrangement button, and then we make the necessary changes that we have to make sure that the lyrics are in order. So when we have worship, we're not behind or ahead of anybody. We're actually where lyrics are supposed to be when they're singing, and everybody can participate in worship. I thank you for watching. Look forward to doing more training videos for you, especially for our church. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at dshear@davidshear.us. Thank you for watching.